Oh, how do I keep feeling like I make the best podcast I've ever made every week? Is it because of my growth? I guess it is. I don't have to do any poems or shit back here. What's going on? I recorded with a guy, Nigel. Oh my God, he was so fucking dude. He got me. We talked for 2.5 hours. That's see, I already forgot the name, and I'm trying to. It's like ab something. I'll say it again. Yeah, transformational alchemy, but it's yeah, Nigel. It says Nige. Yeah, I just have the Nigel part. I don't remember what his last name was. Was it Green? I think so. But yeah, he's a great guy. He was able to. We just talked about my rules for like 2.5 hours, because that's how interesting he found them. Because he is a guy who's in touch with his emotions, and he actually told me a few things. Let's read his notes right now. Fuck that. Hell yeah. This is a behind the scenes right now, motherfucker. All right, so one of the things that I don't yeah, yeah, this was off the podcast. Holy shit, this is a note. I had forgotten I wrote this already, and it was just 3 hours ago. Remind yourself Jada was told to be herself. Cathartic. Because as I was talking to him, it came up that about being yourself and worrying about what you can control and stuff. And then I was like, and for some reason, I talked about recognizing the fact that Jada masks everywhere else, but not with me. And so that is the best way that I can love her, even if I get some of the meanness, it needs to get out. And so I need to remember that because I make her sound like she's awful, but it's just, I mean, she's not. I everything if I'm not talking about the podcast, we are so happy. She loves the person I was 3 years ago, and ever since I went through the depression and wanted to do the podcast, I'm it's been rough for her. She's sacrificed a lot and she's looked after us, and so she is so much more important than you. If she came in right now and said, I've been listening and I don't want to ever hear you say this podcast again, she would win. And you would have to dissect from my podcast what you could, because I don't want to talk about that shit anymore. My woman chose me over what she knew my podcast meant to me. And so then we would be blissfully happy. We would live a life that people only dream of in most places, and the world would miss out. That's what I feel. There's a behind the scenes for you, and that's 3 minutes in. And I don't remember what I said, but I remember the gist of it, and I know that I meant it. I said that I try, and then when I say that, I always try to remember one more time so I could prove it before I forget it. So I'm not even gonna fucking do that. Some of us have been living in see, look, I know, man. I felt it when I was recording that last podcast. I was like, God, I jump around from topic to topic, and like even when I talk about one of these topics, people's like eyes explode, and they're just like, I'm not going to address that. And it's like I'm just doing that 500 times on a podcast. But just pick one, okay? If you want to comment, pick one. There had to be something that I said where you were like, okay, I guess that was I wait, what does he mean? Oh, now is why is he talking about this, If you've watched this podcast and that's what happens, just pick the one you like. You're not supposed to be ADHD. As me, you'd be challenged to be more ADHD than me. I know it's out there, but oh boy, my ADHD is fucking nightmare. But anyway, welcome to Behind the Scenes. This is me. This is the unmasked, unpodcast person who murdered the person who was in that bathtub last December. This is me. This is the person who interviews people. But I can't do it when I have to do the solo podcast. So all I do is just do this. So I'm me. Do you like me or do you dislike me? Why do you dislike me? Let's talk about it. Oh, I like that. I like that. Oh, I'm excited about that. I can remember that. I can send myself a. Okay, don't forget, I recorded it, so I'm not worried about it. But if you disagree with me, tell me why. No, that's not it. Oh, I think I did lose it. Oh well, I marked it. It's there. Anyway, this is the guy behind the scenes. So, and I mean the podcast tries to not be to this. Okay? That's it. I still have that level of protection a tiny, tiny bit, but I'm trying to get rid of it. I want the podcast to be this, but I'm not there yet. I don't have people saying, I'm interested in just hearing what Nick has to say instead of what he wants to podcast. You know, I just want to be able to come on and be like, okay, followers, um, I had a great day today. I kind of fought with Jada, or what I mean, like, that's not what I want to do. But it's I could talk about practically anything except politics. I had that idea that, people could hop on. I love that idea. I love that idea. If people want to hop on and I've tried to do this, but nobody wants to just, say, hey, crack me open like an egg because I like what you say. That's it. That's what it is. Crack me open like an egg because I like what you have to say. Yeah, I'll write that down. Why not? Crack me open like an egg. What was the second part? Shit. Have to go back and get that too. Crack me open like an egg. Oh, so we can see what's inside? No? Is that it? Yeah, maybe. It might need work, but it's a concept. And I'll probably bury it with other notes. Who fucking knows, dude? I feel like I should be hooked up to a fucking supercomputer that could just read every thought that I have. I want to do 4 podcasts at once. I could. I bet you I could. I fucking could. My ADHD is tough, but I don't like ADHD medication. And I'm a happy person as long as I can be that person. How's that? How's that for you? If I don't have to mask my ADHD-ness to be liked, and you can deal with the fact that I don't communicate in the way that anybody you've ever met communicates, has thoughts, presents information. If you can't forget that, then I'm gonna have to mask. Still masking. But it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. I'm not masking that hard. The way I used to mask, I can feel my chest getting tight right now as I talk about that. That's those poems. Oh, I wish I could fake that. Okay. Behind the scenes, whatever. Don't need to. Oh, yeah, reading notes. See, even the behind the scenes gets lost in the reel. Okay. Did anybody follow that thread? Did anybody feel how valuable and important that was to me, even though I'm going to forget it? If you did, you're a true fan. You're a person that I'm talking to. I don't think everybody needs to get it, but I'm looking for people that get it. And then I want to interview you or talk to you even off camera and, see if I can help somebody. Because I can. I can, I can, I can, I can, I can, I can, I can. I wish Jada would get over being afraid to talk to me. But I respect her. I respect her choice to decide what she wants. But anybody, bring me Donald Trump. I'd talk to him right now. Let's do that. So Donald, I gotta say, I have you're a very polarizing figure. You can come across very harsh, very misogynistic, sometimes racist, and I'm going somewhere. Volatile, passionate belief. I think that's how I would sum you up, sir, is you are full of passionate belief. I believe that you don't see how ICE treating people isn't wrong. I believe that you passionately think that. But I'm here to tell you that you're wrong and that you unfortunately have lost your humanity, sir. And that if you don't have any more time for this interview, I understand. Or we can talk about this like two men. How are you today? That's how I would start that podcast. And then I would have a conversation if Donald Trump was here. I assume he would make uh, an argument. He would like insult me, or who knows. I honestly have no idea what that man would do, but I bet you it would be expert communication, because that's what I said this morning on the Gentleman's Podcast. As much as I despise about Donald Trump, you got to give it up to him for his strengths. He has he has passion. He lives a life of passion. That's a good thing. He has good self-worth. He has enough self-worth for 20 neurodivergents that could use it. They would be like, "Oh, thank you, Donald. Thank you for not doing this thing that's physically possible." But people understand what I'm suggesting is that this magically happens, is his 20 times ego is transferred into separated into 20 separate pieces as a thing and given to these people, that they then have better lives because that much ego would be helpful to them because they struggle with ego while you are the king of existence. Never. Genghis Khan, nobody had the ego that you have, sir. That would be my next thing. I'm just some random podcaster. Why would I be considered a good interviewer? Because that wasn't compelling. If that would have been 60 Minutes, if I had decided on another career path, and we were on 60 Minutes right now, and I had just asked Donald Trump, the real Donald Trump, the person who is in the White House that makes decisions, if I had gotten him on the podcast and asked him that, which I have now recorded so I don't have to, I can just play it, would that not have been entertaining and valuable and something that nobody else has asked to has thought to ask? And at this point, if this blows up, I would never interview Donald Trump, because if he heard that, he'd be like, "Are you fucking kidding me? There's no way I can answer that question." And if he could, I'm dying to hear the answer. So that's how I would interview Donald Trump. There's a behind the scenes for you. Now let's get back to my random notes that I took on a podcast that I recorded this morning. I think that's the best thing that's ever been recorded. I don't need to talk anymore. I fucking no, I no 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 no. I'm talking right now to the people that have picked up on this show. I don't know how you got here. I don't know if you've seen a couple episodes but welcome. Please watch this show. It's the best thing out there. Let me be me. I might get an interview with Donald Trump. Who do you want next? Joe Rogan? I'm gonna say, Joe Rogan, thank you for having me on the Joe Rogan Experience, because I know you didn't come on my podcast. Uh, I want to say, first of all, thank you so much. Thank you for doing what you've done. I applaud you for your ability, your humility, and I know that's going to sound controversial, but I fucking mean it. You were always a good comic. You turned things on its ear. I knew your comedy. I uh shit, I'm gonna lose my train of thought. Uh, but I watched you on news radio. I basically, sorry, I'm starting to ramble. I was trying to build this grand emotional thing, but I think I've created a little bit. I mean, your podcast. Well, yes, this is what I'm trying to say. Your podcast inspired me to do everything that I've done to this point. The only thing that keeps me going, honestly, is that I can look at the Joe Rogan experience and see the potential if people see the potential in you. And so I want to say thank you, sir, for having me on this podcast. Now, let's get fucking high and let's talk some shit. Because I don't want to be introspective anymore. I don't want to lead the conversation. I just want to be part of a conversation. But now that I've shown my value, how about we do the thing you do and we talk to each other? Because that's what I think of you, Joe Rogan. And I'm glad I could say that. And I think that would mean something to you. You would hear the empathy that comes from me. And now, do we want to talk about empathy or do we want to talk about fucking UFC? I don't care because I want to have a nice conversation where I can learn from the man. And now that I'm on your podcast, I know that I've reached a point where I feel like we are somewhat peers. I believe that I could do your job now, sir. I would take over the reins because I want it to be the Nick Pagano experience. I don't, you know what? That's the name of my new podcast. How about that? I've been trying to, I don't know if I can do that legally, but I will try. I'll try to figure out a way. I'm going to change the name of the podcast because I am not Autisticpod. I am Nick Pagano. Holy shit. Holy shit. I love that. I fucking love that. I have never been Nick Pagano on this podcast. I'm fucking Nick Pagano. He's Joe Rogan. I'm Nick Pagano. I'm a fucking cool guy. I'm not cool in the way he's fucking cool. Holy shit, dude. I'm a fucking loser when it comes to partying and fucking being charismatic and being a good host and having manly benefits, being able to be a big strong man and feel that adrenaline. It's so funny it keeps stopping. But yeah, I was saying I would work out with you, Joe Rogan. I want to get big, but I can't. I don't want to be that big, but I just want to be a little better. I actually I'm not bad. I'm not saying I'm super skinny, but I do like my body, and this is just Nick Priano. But anyway, he wouldn't be saying that to Joe Rogan, but that was me being autistic pod. Oh, I like this. I like this. I'm Nick Pagano. I'm Nick Pagano. This is super cool. This is the next step. Holy shit, you saw it live. Did anybody appreciate what happened on this episode? That's my question. This was 20 minutes long. Can I top this? I don't think I can. I need to I need to I need to digest this. Wow. Goodbye autistic pod. Hello Nick Pagano. Thank you for inspiring me, Joe Rogan. Thank you for giving me the confidence, Donald Trump. And thank you for listening to the podcast. Until our next conversation. which is tomorrow. Up until then, I'm gonna go fucking chill on my couch, watch Pluribus, and enjoy the weekend and not have to worry about a podcast. Until our next conversation, and let's keep finding pieces to those puzzles. Bye bye.